Welcome to A Little Birdie Told Me with rollercoaster.ie. On this special episode, I'm sitting down with Anne Laird. Sponsored by Aptamil Follow-On Milk. We believe that every feed is a gift. That's why we've dedicated over 50 years to breast milk research and created Aptamil Follow-On Milk. Aptamil Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Talk to a health professional. This is quite the treat and a very special episode for me because this is a woman that I would feel like I know because the person that she's married to is a friend and someone I've worked with and who will talk about this woman all the time. So then you think you know this person. And then along with that friendship, you learn about the things that people go through. And Anne Laird, who's on the podcast today, welcome Anne, is going through quite a lot. And her husband, Colm Hayes, who presents and has presented in this country on every show going to Man, but is also on Classic Hits at the moment, is married, is your husband, and is the one who I suppose linked us and told me, look, this is a story that you cannot miss, and please can you talk to Anne? I think it's one of the first times you've been interviewed about this.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we're going to take this nice and easy because you are not Colm, thankfully.
No.
You are a little bit more, you're quieter and shyer about this kind of stuff, but I think what you would agree on is that this is a really important story to tell.
Absolutely, yes.
Anne, you're a gorgeous woman and the mother of 2 children who I kind of say 2 kids, but you're like, they're adults, but they're children. Your kids. What age are they?
Alex is 31 and Holly's 25. 2 different personalities completely.
I'd say.
Yeah.
And you're here raising kids in Dublin with Colm over the years, throughout his radio career, throughout your career. I know you work really hard as well. And you've had this wonderful life, ups and downs, but in recent years, you've had a lot of hardship and adversity. Can you talk us through that? Because I want to kind of talk about the horrible health battles you've gone through, how I think there should be more support and there isn't, but also how actually we talk about parenting as a podcast and women parenting and we've influencers on and everything. You are having to live, breathe through this and parent.
Yes, I mean, Alex and Holly are still living at home. Alex has just got engaged a couple of months ago. They're buying their first home together, Alex and Laura. But he moved home, obviously, financially to save. But they'll be gone with their new house in a couple of weeks' time. Holly's 25. She's still at home. I think she'll be there for a long time, so she will. And the 2 of them are great. They're great.
Like, we would have always heard about Holly on the Strawberry Alarm Clock. There was Rocky the dog.
Yeah. Holly was always, she'd Colm would ring her. So she grew up. A lot of people would know the name Holly on the Strawberry Alarm Clock. Then they knew her, and she's very outgoing. She'd be very like Colm.
Yeah,
really outgoing.
I've met her. She's confident and she's funny, and I also know that Lucy Kennedy, who presents with Colm's daughter, is Holly as well. So there's this kind of lovely full circle thing. It's really sweet.
Yeah,
you've this busy life. Like I often say to Colm, he's been on the podcast before, busy full life with his shows and his career, which has just moved. And you've been this stalwart in his life through all of that in the background, supporting him.
Through the ups and downs. And there has been.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of those in his career. Good times and bad times. And here he is, still continues to do what he does and loves it.
But it's kind of gorgeous to talk to the partner of someone who's always in the public eye, always, the broadcaster, that person, but to speak to someone who's actually had to hold up a lot of roofs in the background.
Yes, I shied away from all of that because it's not the kind of person that I am.
Yeah.
I could have gone down that road with Colm, but it just wasn't for me.
Did you struggle with it in the height of it when there was all the photo things, or did you enjoy that aspect, the premieres and the fun stuff?
There was a lot of them that I didn't go to.
Okay.
It's just not my person. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. I'd go to some of them, but no. And if there was interviews to be done, and somebody might ask, some of the papers might ask me to do, I shied away from all of that.
There was never pressure. You never
No,
felt
never. It just wasn't me,
So you have this marriage. You're telling me that you did a beautiful, in Portugal, a kind of vow renewal ceremony a few years ago. Tell me about that.
We did. As I was telling you earlier on, I met Colm in the original Radio Nova 40 years ago. We lived together for some time, and then we got married.
Yeah.
Got married in 1990.
Wow.
So we're 35 years married this year. But a couple of years ago, we were in Portugal. We've gone every couple of years now. So we've been I think this year will be our 5th year. We go with some members of our family, my nieces and nephews. So we decided 2 years ago, that we were going to renew our vows. And we did that. We announced it. Even Holly was travelling, and we told her the night before that this is what we were doing. And the nieces and nephews, and it was fun, and we had the best day ever. It was really,
there's a lot
really
of love
fun.
there in your, because I talk a lot about marriage and the ups and downs and people who go through a lot or people who don't make it. There's a lot of love there, and even with what's happened to you lately, you can tell there's a lot of protection.
Yes, there is a lot of love, but obviously we've gone through, as all marriages do, huge
upheaval and
huge.
And some make it.
And there was times, to be honest, we wondered, would we make it, especially when the kids were younger. Would we make it? And then I also think because of Colm's career, and it would take him out of the house a lot, going to all these different places, as you said, premieres and whatever. But we got through them. Something got us through. Yeah, we wanted to stay together. We still wanted to be together.
Do you think it's the hardest time when they're little? Like, it's interesting you talk about that, because you still have your challenges now with Holly and Alex, like, the financials. Will they get a house of their own, especially at the moment? Are they happy in love? Is it going to work out for them? Are they going to have babies? Will I be here for all of that? But you were saying there, it was the hard. I feel like a lot of couples either make it or don't. Those younger years are hard.
They're very hard. They really are. And and even, I always remember back to Holly in secondary school, because she went through a hard time in secondary school, and that was really difficult. And it put huge pressure on myself and Colm to keep her focused. She didn't want to go to school, and we had to practically drag her out of bed to go. But it's funny, because only not that long ago, she sat and said that was one of the best things that we ever did, was to make her get up and go to school.
So you did a winning job.
So we did, but that was really
But you
hard.
think you're losing and the whole thing has gone to shit, and your kid tells you in their 20s,
and
what?
And she did say that. She said, that's the best thing that you ever did. And Colm was going through a change in his career at the time as well. So we had the pressure of that, and he didn't know where or what he was going to do. But Holly obviously was our main focus, and that was a really, really hard time. That was difficult.
But you go through this love-in where you meet, you and Colm met, and it's the romance, and you're talking about, going up and down to Belfast there earlier, and I know Colm's told me of your adventures, and then you kind of throw 2 kids into the mix. And it's kind of this shit show of like keeping the show on the road. A lot of the romance goes out the fucking window.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kill each other, you wonder what each other's at, and there's just this, like you're talking about, this butting of heads. And even when Holly was a teen, having to, but some don't navigate it. And I think you put it beautifully there, where you were like, there was something in us that just wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
You could have not. You could have given up and gone.
And as I said to you, there was times when both of us nearly walked away. But there was just something held us together. I know a lot of people might say your children, obviously a big thing.
That's interesting.
But and they would, some people stay together for their children.
Wow.
But
do you think that's right?
No,
Okay.
I don't think. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think, look,
If things don't work,
don't
they
work.
don't work.
Especially now, with
choices and kind
exactly. And but with myself and Colm, there was just always something there. There's always something.
It
It's
keeps
just
you
there.
bonded.
Yeah.
But I think you have cancer, and so there's a resilience. I think what I'm talking about in your relationship is somewhere in you, and I know that you've probably broken, I can guess, and I'm sure you're going to tell me about that many a time recently, but there's obviously a resilience that you had to probably put up with a lot in a media career that was up and down and in and out, new jobs, no jobs. Height of it, the non-height, his mood swings, your own career.
Absolutely, the financial end of it. Are we going to be able to make our mortgage, pay our mortgage, all of these kind of things.
So there's a resilience in you both.
And then obviously Colin always did the breakfast show, so he was never there for the kids going to school.
God, I never actually because nowadays men are so like, I'll do the creche drop, I'll make the bread. There's an involvement and you expect it. It's like like I'm a devil for having a sleep in. You forget that you were single-handedly and you're working for an accountancy firm, like you were working. You were single-handedly doing mornings.
Yeah, I did the mornings.
For how many years?
Oh, sure. I mean, it just felt like forever. And even when even in secondary school, I'd get her into secondary school, as I said, because I had to. But I did all of those.
Was
Colin
that
wasn't
a kind
there.
of haze? Was it really like, did you really enjoy it, or was it like, God, this is
Oh
hard?
no, it was God. I wish Colin would do this some morning. I wish he would take over some morning for the school runs. Now he would be there most of the time, and he'd pick them up. But I used to do those.
And did they get on? Were they good siblings? Were they easy?
Well, there is an age gap between them. There's 7 years between them.
Is there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's 7 years.
That's kind of sweet, or is it make them kind of...
Well, yeah. So they are, when they were growing up, obviously Alex, they were miles apart.
Wow, 7 years. I never knew it was 7 years.
Yes, 7 years. So they're miles apart. I had Alex when I was 33 and I had Holly when I was 40. Just over 40. And... no, I can say that they didn't get
Always get on, yeah. Okay,
no, they didn't. But now, they are so close. They're so close.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, but they didn't get on.
Why? They were just so different. And
so ages. Different. Yeah. She was going,
well,
girl
one was
playing
in school,
with,
one was...
wow.
Yeah.
And when Holly started, I'm trying to think now, it was a junior in or school, and Alex was starting, so she was starting... junior infants. Alex was starting his first day in secondary school. Oh, that's so weird. We didn't know how we were going to balance that. So Colin had to take that morning off. And I brought her to one and Colin brought Alex to the other.
That's quite a different time in their lives. It's nearly a decade.
So they are, they didn't get on, but now, as I said, they do. And she's on to him all the time for advice, and he's on to her, and she was involved with whenever he was proposing to Laura. Holly had to be down there, and it was lovely.
Can I ask a personal question? Was there a reason that there was the gap? Was it a preconceived, or did you want Alex to have a sibling and you decided later on, or was it a fertility? Like, was there a reason there was a gap?
I suppose myself and Colin, we did a lot of travelling, and when we were younger did all of that. Then we decided to settle down. Then we had Alex and left it for a couple of years, and then I wasn't able then to have Holly. A couple of miscarriages, and then it happened, Just
did you want a big family, or were you kind of done then?
I was happy with two.
Okay.
At that stage I was happy with two.
You were grateful.
Yeah.
She's come along. We're good. Okay.
Yeah. So I was happy with two. That was fine because I come from such a big family.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
How many?
I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay, wow,
so
huge.
I didn't want a big family like that. Then we're all stepping stones, So no, I didn't want a big family.
You wanted it to be a simpler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you love being a mama? I know you're still a mama, and always was it really your main thing?
Yeah, I loved it. I did. I loved being a mum. Yeah, I did.
Like, they were your special times. He's off doing his thing, but this was your jam.
Yeah, no, that was it. I loved them, the two of them, and especially then when I was able to go on and have Holly, it was
special.
It was really special. So I remember being in hospital with her, on the Millennium when we were returning in. So when was that? Oh my God.
2025, yeah.
Yeah. That night I was in hospital with her. Oh God, yeah. I remember that. She was this beautiful, curly, dark hair.
She's got your eyes. She's a beauty, Holly. She's gorgeous.
But I loved being a mum, and I still do.
Any of your memories of holidays, or is it the simple
Loads
stuff?
of holidays.
There was a thing yesterday about, we try and make everything special day to day, or weekends or days out or birthdays, but that children's biggest memories in their brains are from 6 to 10 being away with their family where there's no work and no
Yeah,
day to day.
yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
And that's it. And we did travel. And we were lucky enough that we were lucky to have 2 holidays, a year, which would be great. And look at everything, just the Christmases. And then obviously Holly's a Christmas baby. She was born on the 28th of December. So she always had to have her birthday, and still does.
Yeah.
You have to make a big deal of her birthday.
She's fucking right.
And when she gets a birthday present, it has to be wrapped in birthday paper.
Not fucking Christmas.
So-
I do pity, like I have to say, the feckers who get born.
Yeah.
You're a bit like, everyone's a bit over it by then. Yeah.
No, but she's real, she's a real, loves Christmas, and then knows her birthday's coming up. And then she was saying to us this year, she's 25, she just turned 25, and it was like, 25, I think 25 is a special age, looking for something
rocker.
bigger.
You need to
and
make
we're
a
going,
massive party.
no, Holly, that's when you were 21. Maybe when you
I don't remember
turn
25.
30.
I remember 13 being
not,
big, yeah.
30, but not.
No,
Yeah.
she can feck off this year. So you have this life. We've spoken briefly there about parenting and the trials and tribulations of marriage and your career, and we get to feckin' COVID and you find a lump. Can you tell us about this?
It was just before COVID. I found a lump, was having a shower one day, and I thought, okay.
Always in the fucking shower.
Yeah.
What, it's just having this swish and the
Yeah,
clean,
just,
and you felt something weird.
Yeah, and I felt, well, that doesn't feel right. But I still put it out of my mind. I didn't think anything of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of put that to the back of my mind. And then Colm and myself went away in November, I think it was. And I said to him, I said to him, look, what do you think? Feel that? But men, it was kind of
Grand.
It was kind of that's. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. I was going to feel
it's
this,
muscular,
feel that.
you think it's cysty.
And so it was in the back of my mind.
Was it large?
No, it wasn't very big.
But it was enough for you.
But it was
to
enough
be
for
like,
me to know
okay.
that this is. So I went to my doctor, and they checked it out and says, look, we should have this checked out. Now, I had been having regular mammograms, and I'd only had a mammogram the year before. So I really wasn't that concerned. I really wasn't concerned.
You were like, this mammogram would have found it.
Yeah, I just thought, it's fine. I got an appointment to go to Vincent's in November, and I drove myself in. I remember it was 8 a.m. Drove myself in, didn't think anything of it. Went in, had a mammogram, then I had an ultrasound, and then they said, look, you need to have a biopsy. So had the biopsy. Sitting waiting. Knew then when I had to have the biopsy that there was just something wasn't right. Then one of the nurses came to me and said, have you got anybody with you? And I said no. And she said, I think you should call.
Was that a key moment? You were like,
yes.
Something's up. Okay.
Yeah, it was very scary. I was shocked, and I thought, I need to ring somebody. Who am I going to ring? And I got my phone, and my hands, I always remember my hands were shaking. I couldn't remember anybody's number, and I couldn't get Colm's number. I couldn't see his number on the phone. I didn't know what to do. And I hit whatever, I just hit the phone, and it turned out it was my sister-in-law, Maeve. Mm-hmm. And I said to Maeve, I'm in trouble. And she dropped everything. Obviously, she rang Colm, came to the hospital.
Oh, he came down.
Maeve got to me first.
Okay.
Because I think Colm was still on air. And she got to me first, and we were there, and she came in with me to see. I was called in to see a doctor, a surgeon, and he checked me out, and he said, right, we need to have this done, we need to have that done, whatever. But he said it is cancerous. So they told me there and then that I had some form of cancer. Anyway, Colm arrived, Holly arrived, Alex arrived, everybody arrived into the hospital, and there was blood tests.
Wow.
There was a lot of blood tests, whatever.
Lot, yeah.
It was a lot.
In one morning.
In one morning, it was an awful lot to take in. Then we were brought back a couple of days later. Colm came with me. The surgeon told me that it was breast cancer, and it was early stages, I would have a
Okay.
mastectomy.
Okay. One, not a double.
No, not a double. I would have the mastectomy. I would have the tumour removed.
Was that quite extreme to have a mastectomy if it's early stages? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. He because he wanted to get rid of the tumour.
Fine. So he's just like, get it out.
Yeah, let's get rid of it.
Fine.
And maybe you want to think of reconstruction, surgery. Either because they'll do it whenever they have it. When you have it, they'll do it.
They'll do the same time
after, or they'll do whichever is up to you. So there was a lot of, in the early days, there was a lot of, going back and forth, and myself and Colin went in to see him a few times, and Colin said to him, "Is this it?" And he said, "Yes, she's going to be okay. She'll be fine. We'll do the mastectomy. She'll probably have to have a bit of treatment, but afterwards, but she's going to be fine." So he said, "We'll do it in early January, get over Christmas." So you're coming to terms with that.
What age were you? Do you mind saying like what age were you in your?
I was 60.
How many years ago is this?
5. I'm going into 6 years. 5 years ago.
So you're 60. You're not an old person. You don't
No.
feel like you've ever been unwell.
No.
Can I ask through the noise? There's the column. He's talking. I know how helpful he can be, and he has advice, and he's a great partner. You have your kids. You have your extended family, your friendships. Throughout this early bit, this early I know it's moved on. How was it when the noise wasn't there? Were you really struggling with this, Anne, or are you quite stoic? Like, how were you finding this news? Cancer alone, because like you kind of said it there and we moved on. It's like, I lost babies and we move on.
Yeah.
Miscarriage, cancer, we've all had these things happen in our life. It's a really big thing.
Yeah.
How do you think you were coping?
I wasn't. I'd say I was in shock. I was in shock, but I had a thing in my mind that I was going to be okay.
And it's a step by step.
And I'll take the step by step. Okay. And myself and Holly, I made the appointment to go and see the surgeon about reconstruction.
Yeah.
So we went through all of that. Holly came with me. We spoke to her. That was all in place. Right. Everything was going fine. Then I was brought in. I felt like I was just kind of going through the motions until I got to the stage, okay, I know I'm going to have this surgery in January. And so I kind of got myself ready for that. And then I had to have some lymph nodes removed, had to be checked. I'd had CT scans, I'd bone scans. I don't think I had the bone scan at that stage, but a CT scan. And I was brought in, had some lymph nodes removed. So I didn't have the results of the CT scan as quick as I should have had them. So something happened, I don't know, but I should have had them earlier. I probably didn't need to go down that road of having the lymph nodes removed, but at this stage. But I went in, had them done, came home, and a couple of days later I got a phone call. Colin was upstairs from the surgeon's secretary to say, "Look, Anne," nurse actually, to say, "Look, Anne, there's a complication. The cancer has spread." So so you have a lump. Colin checks out, doesn't think anything of it. You don't think anything of it. You do it, we'll send you on a biopsy. Oh, look, it is, but it's early. This happens to a lot of women. We're going to get that shit out and we're going to move on. It is now a few months later, and you are told that something that was not invasive, that was one area and that will be beaten, is now spread? Yeah.
To where?
It had, when it had spread to my bones. So
I know. How the hell are you told? And we're not going to go into hospitals or doctors.
No.
Because it's not something you want to do. No. And I know that you're here to tell a story, but it is negligence. And how the hell did that happen? Or was it just undetected and it's one of these awful moments?
I think it was just.
Do you think it was there when you had the lump? Do you think it was in your bones when you had the original? No.
Yes. Oh no, it was there. No, it was there. It was there. It was just that the CT scan, I didn't get the results of the CT scan as soon as I should have. So there was a delay in just getting the CT.
You don't know.
I don't know. Okay. And it doesn't really matter at this stage. It happened. It had spread when I had the lump. It was in my bones at that stage.
So when you had the lump, it was already in
it was already there. It's just that it was missed. for some
How
reason.
long were your CTE results? How long delayed were they?
I think they were delayed by about 2 weeks.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So then I...
How did you feel when she told you that? What the
I
hell
was
did you feel?
absolutely... I just remember breaking down and calling Colin, and I couldn't make sense of what she was trying to tell me. And Colin rang her back, and he was trying to calm me down.
Yeah.
And we went in to see them the next day, and he said, look, this is the worst news you're ever going to hear. It's spread to your bones. You're not going to hear any worse than this. So I was then told I had to see an oncologist. So I was asked who I would like as my oncologist.
Wow, okay.
And I was lucky enough that I chose Janice Walsh,
Okay.
who's absolutely amazing.
She in Vincent's?
She's in Vincent's, yeah, and she's absolutely...
She's been with you throughout this journey?
Throughout this journey, she's been with me. She's kept me here this long. So I met her, and I had some more scans, some more biopsy. I had to have a biopsy anyway. And I started... She brought myself and Colin in. She told us at this stage that it had gone to my bones. And I remember thinking, the first thing I thought was, am I going to see Holly's 21st? You know, because Holly was 20 at this stage. I thought, am I going to see her 21st? It just kept going around in my head. And she said, you will, Anne, you'll see.
And did you have confidence in her after the other kind of shit show?
I did have confidence in her from when I met her, because she's a straight shooter. She tells you how it is. She'll tell you. And I started my treatment on the 23rd of December, 2019.
2 days before Christmas.
And then I was brought in on the 24th that morning, Christmas Eve, because something happened. Something showed up in my bloods. Okay, that's that. Then that evening, we get a phone call to say that Colin's father passed away.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I was on air with him that morning.
Yeah. That happened that evening.
And there was a double whammy for him. He had two grievances.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my God.
And then me in the midst
the worst of your worst.
It was absolutely, it was terrible. And
did you feel like your whole world...
Yeah,
isn't it funny? Like, I feel similarly about stuff recently where you're like, your whole world is imploding and you're kind of wondering, are you meant to be... And you weirdly survived this shit.
I know.
This, like, Beatrice, I was saying, Beatrice, what would she be, your sister-in-law?
Yeah.
She was saying that we're all so resilient, and I pissed myself. I was like, no, we're not. We're all fucking... She goes, no, humans, no matter what they're given. Now, some will cry more, some will be weaker, some won't. But most of us just have to you have no fucking choice.
Well, what do you do?
I know, but it's incredible how you manage the early stage to be told the bones. Colin loses his dad, a stalwart figure in his life, and somebody who had, different perspectives.
And we're dealing with that as well. And we're dealing with me just starting my cancer treatment. And
was that the worst Christmas of your life?
Oh my God, it was awful. It was absolutely terrible. And I know.
What was the prognosis from Janice? Sorry, I interrupted. What was her prognosis? Like, what was...
Well, I had my prognosis was that I have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer that had spread to my bones. And that's what... So you're looking at that and you're thinking, I've stage 4. I mean, that's it. Like, I mean, there's no cure for stage 4.
Did she kind of say you'll just live with this? Or like, what was her...
Yeah,
did she say you'll ever recover from it?
No, I'll never... No, I won't recover for it. You won't recover from
never
stage
be in
4.
remission from it, ever?
No. And it's just managing the treatment. And I've had... I started off my early treatment was chemo, but in tablet form. And that was fine for the first 2.5 years. And since then, I've had chemo. And now I'm starting a new chemo on Monday because it has spread to my bowel. And then recently now I have some spotting in my liver. So now I'm on another treatment. But with Janice, she'd just say, Anne, look, it's progressed, but we have treatment. And if this treatment doesn't work, I have another treatment and another treatment. And I'll just say, Janice, just keep saying that to me. Just once you say to me, I have another treatment. And she has said to me, it's about now, you know, I'm living with cancer, but I still can live a good quality of life. And I can, and I have.
I wanted to ask you that. So with all the, this and the technical and those early stages
Yeah.
and you're in tablet form, and I know people who've done that and it's exhausting,
Yeah.
sickness, I presume.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Also
lot of that.
depression because your
Oh, yeah.
mind is playing
Yeah.
up with
No,
you and you're fucking
I've gone
angry
through
and
all of that.
what was the quality? I mean, feck the marriage and kids for a sec.
Yeah.
What was the quality of life to just physically go to work, be Anne, put on
Yeah.
your dress and makeup? Like,
Yeah.
how did you find all of that
Well, at
mentally?
the very-
Did you get therapy?
Yes, I speak to somebody every month,
Brilliant.
and I have done from the very start, which was the best thing that I ever did. When I was offered that from Vincent's, I speak to her, and she's great, Isabella. And when I go down through a bad patch, which I do, she can make me see the light and guide me in another way. Like the very start, I remember getting out of the car. I think it was my second session with her. Colin dropped me down. And I said, "Oh my God, this is my life now. In and out of Vincent's, this is it." And she said to me, "No, it's not, Anne. It's just part of your life. It's not your life. It's just a part of it."
Wow, what an incredible.
Yeah. But at the early stages, I just stayed in bed. I pulled a cover over my head. I didn't want to get out. I didn't want to do anything. I know it sounds stupid, but I kept looking around the bedroom and looking at, my wardrobe and everything. And I need to go in there. I need to clear out everything because I thought I was dying. I thought
You were very...
very. I thought I'm not going to get through this, so I need to clear everything out because I don't want anybody else have to do that. I'm going to do it, and all of these things.
It's probably a survival instinct, though.
Yeah,
too. It's like, what can I do?
Yeah, and so I did that. I didn't go to work
For how long?
For a while because there was an awful lot still going on with the hospital.
Did you lose motivation, or did you lose a lot of?
Yeah, I just couldn't. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. Then COVID hit, and I was really lonely. Even though the one part of COVID that I say I enjoyed was that Alex and Holly were at home, and the four of us could be together.
Yeah,
we were
eat
like in our
dinner
own bubble,
Yeah.
and that was really nice for me with them. But I didn't want to go anywhere. I'd wake up in the night and I'd say to Colin, God, I have to get out of here. And we'd get up at 2:00 in the morning and walk down to Sea Point, and come back because my mind was just in turmoil. It really, really was. And it was like that for a long time. Like I'm 5 years now. And
Did you feel burdensome offloading? Was there a horrible guilt with your kids and family, or were you like, no, I need to...
I went through as well the emotions of, oh, it's my fault. If I'd done this, if I'd done that, or whatever. But it's
Or also, why me?
And yeah,
I'm a fucking good
all
person,
of that.
why me?
Yeah, why me? Why did I have to, why
Yeah.
me? But it doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with that, and it's not. There isn't a history in my family.
But you've also...
of
Sorry,
breast
Anne, you
cancer.
just told me before we even started, not everyone's in the system for mammograms. They should be, but not everyone is, right? Some people forget them. Or
Yeah.
You were having mammograms. You
I
had
was.
one a year previous.
Yes, yes.
I presume you're, a normal, proper lady who goes and gets bloods. Like, you're not some idiot who completely forgot about yourself. So I think it's wrong to say, you worried, you had guilt. Shit happens when you unexpectedly. And fair play about the lump, because I know that some women go, I have muscular boobs, or you knew it wasn't right.
I knew there was something.
And had COVID hit and you're working and Colin's busy, you might have forgotten to bother your hole,
I probably would have. I probably would. And COVID was a lonely time. And I think at that stage I was looking for somebody. I was going, I need to try and meet other women that are in the same situation as me. And of course, everything at that stage was on Zoom. And I just couldn't do it. I tried a few meetings, but some of them were just so because you're meeting people that are in different stages of cancer, coming to the end, coming to the start, and I know all that and I understand all that. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Did
it.
you find it quite
so-
depressing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like going to a bereavement
Yeah,
counselling.
I just couldn't. I tried a few of them, and I just went no. So I found the strength, I suppose, within, but my family and my friends,
Are your outlets?
yeah, and they're the ones that.
Because you're not a big talker. You're saying you are
No,
shy. You
I am.
work really hard. You've great holidays. I love how you've been traveling. Like
yeah.
I'll come into the station and Com's like, she's in fucking Australia.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, fair play. And then he'll text me going, are you in next week? I'm in Greece. With that. I'm like, why are you in Greece? And then he'd be in Lanzarote. I'm like,
I know, and that it took a while for
Has
that
that
to
been
happen.
amazing, just to
That's
get a-
been
yeah.
amazing. That took a while for me to even decide to do that because I was afraid to go anywhere. I was afraid to
in case you missed an appointment, something happened.
Yeah, or in case something happened to me, or I was going, I can't book this holiday because I'll probably have to be in hospital. And then every time, and then I just thought, oh, you know what? I have to live my life. And Janice is saying, live your life. So I'll say to her, can I go on a holiday? And she'll say, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Go, we can delay treatment. And, obviously there was one time when I ended up in hospital and she said, I don't think it's a good idea. So, but, I still got there in the end, delayed it by a couple of days, but I still got there. But yes, I went to Palm Springs. I went to Australia to see my friend that I thought I'd never go to Australia.
So
My
it's
brother,
it's weirdly given you a lot of life that
Yeah.
you, let's be honest, ordinarily as we plod along through our lives and marriage and work and kids and just survival and day to day, right? It's taken so much from you. And I can only imagine, and speaking to Colm as a friend, I know how badly it hurts him, so I can only imagine. But it's given you a lot of life.
Yes, it has. As I said, I'm doing things now that I would never do. I've never done. And I'm supposed to be, all being well now, I'm going to Morocco.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to Morocco. Not next week, the week after. I'm going with my brother. My friend is home from Australia that I went to visit. So my sister-in-law. So the four of us are going, and he wants to take me up in a hot air balloon, which I would
No,
never.
you'll love it. No, you will love it. Honestly.
Will I?
Yeah, you will. And I'm a bit of a weirdo about
I'm heights,
but I
me.
can tell you the minute it's the beginning bit, when you're up there, you will actually just.
So I'm going to do that. I'm back in work. I'm lucky that I can still work. I work for my two brothers.
Do you think if you weren't working, if you're a woman who'd maybe given up the career, you'd raised the kids, you're at home, do you think that would have been very hard to look at the four walls? And
Yeah, absolutely, because it gives me a focus. It gets me out of bed. And now, as you said, the kids aren't there anymore. They're working. And obviously I have had to reduce the amount of time I work. But, and I'm lucky because I can go in whatever time. My job is still there. Now, I always remember Janice at the start when I was diagnosed, she said to me, what do you do? And I told her, and she said, good, because if you were in a 9-to-5 job, I'd tell you to
be crippled.
quit.
You'd be
I'd tell you
crippled.
to leave. You wouldn't be able to do it. So that...
can I say you look remarkably well? I know you have just revealed, and I didn't know this. I knew that you had the bones, you've just told me it's spread again, which I know has given you a big shock this week.
Yeah, it was a big
and
shock.
It is really upsetting.
We only found out last week, yes, that happened.
But you look, it's such a funny thing about the aesthetic of someone, or that you look remarkably well. You're obviously a very sallow person. You've blood in your cheeks. You're not withered and pale. Like we used to always think of people who were
that
living
had
with cancer.
yeah.
And they had no hair. And back in the day, they were just, grey. And you look incredibly well.
Yeah, well,
Is
I
that
think-
kind of nice to look at yourself and not look sick?
Yeah.
Even though I know you have.
There are times when I have looked at myself and thought, oh my God, who's that person looking back at me? Because I've looked so bad. The chemo, I've lost my eyebrows, I've lost my eyelashes, I've lost part of my hair. I'm starting a new treatment now. My hair's come back, but the new treatment will be the same. I'll start losing that again. I'm using a cold cap. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
It's to regenerate,
It's to keep much hair.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky that I've been
Well, you're
offered
lucky you're so
that.
bloody dark, because I'm looking at you and you have a ton of eyelashes and some beautiful eyebrows and freaking loads of hair. So
But
you must
they
have had
they were
a lot
gone.
going on.
They were gone.
what was going on.
Yeah, but they've grown back. But it really helps to keep your hair.
Okay.
It adds longer to the treatment.
That's really hard on confidence when women lose.
Oh,
let's be honest.
But that's it. And Janice did say that. I mean, it's an awful thing to. Some people can't do the cold cap. They just don't. They can't. they can't deal with it, and then they don't want to deal with the extra time that it puts on your treatment to stay in hospital. But if you've got, the statistics are that like 75% of women can still hold on to their hair.
Great.
And I think that's really important
For our mental health and
Yeah,
our sanity.
absolutely. Now I have gone down the road. I have a wig. I have a top. I have all of those things that that I might have to use.
I feel like you consider Janice a friend.
I do.
Like a confidant, kind of. And I know this is a woman who's trying to help you, heal and give you treatment options, but she seems like someone that you love.
She's just amazing. She's amazing. All the women in oncology say the same thing about her. I'm lucky to have her. She's going to keep me here as long as she can. She's got loads of treatment lined up for me, and
it's almost comedic. You shouldn't laugh, but I love how you're like, she's just going to roll out the treatments.
And I just love the way she says, let me look after that part, the cancer part, and you just live your life. And I think that is really important. And I think it's really important for women like me, that and there's so many different treatments now. There's so much that they can do. I mean, even going back to when I was first diagnosed, there's so much new treatment. I feel that end that I'm lucky. And, it's hard. Yeah, it's been really difficult.
Hardest part? Well, I know you wanted to. I'm so grateful of you sharing this, because my mum went through cancer. My auntie, we lost an auntie. I've had very young friends. I've had my own story recently. But what for you going through stage 4 cancer and actually just living with it? Yeah. What is the hardest part? Well, what do you want people to know? Because there's people that are very lonely and living in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, right? Let's be honest.
I know.
Who aren't big Instagrammers.
I know.
They're not on Zooms. They don't know how to fucking use it. They could be separated. They could have no money. They could feel very they have no confidence. What would you like people to know about the hardest part, but also the amazing parts?
Well, I suppose, the hardest part is when you're diagnosed and you go into that, what am I going to do? Like, as I said to you, stupid things. Am I going to see Holly's 21st? I'm going to clear out all my wardrobe. I'm going to give the bit of jewellery I have, I'm going to give it to this person. Lying under a blanket. Holly and Alex, I find it difficult to, because you don't want them to worry, and I know that they do, and obviously Colin. I mean, they're the 3 most important people in my life. And I know, and I can sit down with them because they're adults, but at the same time, you're still hiding it from them, so that's been difficult. And no, I find it, I really want to be able to hope that I'm lucky enough to see grandchildren, to see Alex and Laura getting married next year. I hope I see grandchildren. That would be lovely.
You better bring the style for that, or we'll all go mental, because that is someday out for you back then.
And as I said, I've been lucky with family and friends, and then there are some friends that just can't cope with it. You know what I mean? And they that's okay. That's okay. And then there's friends that I have, really, really good friends. And as I've said to you before, my family. Certain members of my family are amazing.
It's the same way with everything.
Yeah,
isn't it? Some
amazing.
People show up and some don't.
Exactly.
And it's never the people you expect.
Yeah.
Is there enough support in this country? Do you have groups? Do you think it's
as I was saying to you, I think there could be more, especially for women my age. I think we're forgotten.
Why? Tell me why. That's
because
really
I'm older. Because I'm older.
Do you think so?
I think so. Now, maybe I haven't...
Because you're not old. I wouldn't say you're old. So
no.
what, you're in that mid-demo where it's like you're not super young with a new baby, and you're not...
But I think that when you hit that stage 4, when you're told it's stage 4...
You're forgotten?
Yeah. That there's no... I feel that, it's up to you to get out there and push yourself as much as you can.
What would you like to see? Some slight motivating factors? Someone, like, would you like to see groups for women, maybe 40 to 60? Like, do you feel there's a bit of an abyss there?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, I do. As I said, but I did try the groups, but they were, I found, I think maybe a group for me, for my age, with what I'm going
But
through.
also that's sociable.
Yeah.
That you might meet and do something you're interested
I
in. I don't know if sitting in a group talking about having cancer is going to be good personally. Would be good,
Yeah.
really. You know,
Yeah.
that's not what you need, Anne.
No, it's not. But I've got this far as well on my own. You know, I have. As Beatrice, you were talking about, her saying there's resilience in us all.
Are you surprised by yourself? Did you surprise yourself?
Yes, I think I have surprised myself. You know, people say, especially Colin will go, you're so brave, and the fact that you can get up and go to work. But I do that for me. I do that for my mental health as well. There are days when I go, I'll just like to stay in bed. But no, I'll push myself. I'll get up there. I can't do the things that I used to be able to do. Like the early stages, myself and Colin would go for walks. And, we'd head off down to Blackrock, and I used to be able to do all those walks, but I can't do that anymore because the pain. Yeah, because I'd be in a lot of pain, and I just small little walks, I can only manage them now. I kind of miss that. I miss being able to do things like that, or I just can't physically. I'm just not able to.
Are you proud of yourself? Is there a lot of, are you like, feck everyone else, I'm really proud, or do you even think about that?
No, I don't even think about that.
I think you should be really proud.
I don't think about that end of it at all.
I think a lot of people's heads will be in the toilet. You have a wonderful outlook, and you're very, when I met you there, because I think briefly, but I've never been in your company, there's a huge warmth. They're not angry. I don't think you're sick. There's a lovely energy.
Yeah. I think at the start, you go through all those different emotions. You're angry, you're sad. Sad. When I think about it, I'll get sad that, I won't be here to. Well, I'm going to miss a lot. But hopefully, that won't be for a long time.
To God, that won't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
How has it been for you and Colin? We talk about marriage and the ups and downs. Every single human in a marriage, I don't care who they are and who they're pretending, has, and the struggles. How has that been actually for your relationship? Has it strangely united you? Does it cause a lot of drama? Has it been incredible for you both? I know you've done a little bit more travelling. I know you used to always travel, but...
Well, I have done a lot more travelling, but not with Colin.
Okay.
Not as much with Colin. Like,
Yeah.
we'll still do our holidays together. Myself and Colin, obviously our relationship has changed. It could not. Yeah. How could it stay the same? Yeah. He's, he worries about me a lot.
Do you find that hard?
Yeah, and he puts on this brave face, but he really worries about me a lot. And then he's trying to, especially when I go into hospital, Alex and Holly be on, and he's trying to calm them down, and then he's worried about me, and he's texting me. But it's just a different. We've just moved on to just a different stage in our relationship. So we have, and I think I think it's because we love each other, more even since this.
I think you're the greatest love of his life. I know how he talks about you, and it's like, I feel bad for him if he didn't have you, because you are very special to him.
I often think about that down the road. I think about Colin and what's going to happen, because Alex will be off and having his family, and Holly will be moved on as well, but she's not going to stay in Ireland, I don't think. In a couple of years' time, she'll probably have moved on somewhere else. So he'll be there, and probably have to, rebuild a new life. And it's going to be hard for him.
He'll cook a lot and he'll do Instagram videos.
He will.
And Lucy will come up and throw shit at his head. And tell him to get the fuck out of bed.
He's got enough friends that will do that.
And anyway, Anne, I can't see that happening for a very long time.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
And you also don't know what could happen.
Well,
so let's not even go there.
As I said, there's so much new treatment available now, and they're coming up with new treatment all the time, which is amazing. And as I said, I've been really lucky with my oncologist. the oncology staff that look after me I'm in hospital, 3 times a month, and they're all amazing for the last 5 years, amazing. Right through COVID, through everything. I've never had an appointment cancelled on me, nothing. They've all looked after me.
I'll ask you a really simple question, all that. When you started and you said the shock was how it had spread, you were stage 4, you'll always have this.
Yes.
And you talked about, I don't want this to be my life, a hospital life. And you've moved through graciously, like working and travelling. Is there something, this is a weird question, but is there something after a week of treatment or the bad weeks? I know you had a bad week that you look forward to on a Friday. Is there a takeaway, a drink? What do you look forward to?
I'd love a glass of white wine. There's nothing to say that I can't have a glass of wine every now and again, and I love that. Colin is an amazing cook.
He is amazing.
So he'll say to me, "Would you want to cook? What would I cook for you?" He's amazing at that. And yeah, it's the simple little things that. Something nice. Colin and myself will sit down and have something to eat, watch a movie. And the other day he was planning our holiday. We're going back to Kos in June, and so he's planning all that. And I really, really look forward to that, spending time with him. When we go away, we always have an amazing time. I know it's just the two of us, but we do. We always find something to talk about. There's never silence.
He gave me some marriage advice recently. I was talking to him about marriage and the longevity and the ups and downs, and he goes, "Do you know what, Bex? Anne and I always have something to talk about." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?" He goes, "You have to have something to talk about, because if you have that, there's love there."
Yeah.
And I went, wow. And he goes, "Yeah, fuck glamour or attraction or sex or drinking or if you can sit in each other's company." And it was so beautiful.
Yeah. And that's it. We'll go away for 10 days now, and we'll always find something just to natter about. Always. There's never a silence. Never silence between us. Never.
So much. Anne Laird, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. What a special episode, and I'm so honoured to have had you on.
Oh, it was great, Rebecca.
Sponsored by Aptamil Follow-On Milk. We believe that every feed is a gift. That's why we've dedicated over 50 years to breast milk research and created Aptamil Follow-On Milk. Aptamil Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Talk to a health professional.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Little Birdie Told Me, and if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like, subscribe and share this episode.